What if I told you that a pharmaceutical company marketed a drug as completely safe for pregnant women without ever testing it on pregnant women? And that within 3 years, over 10,000 babies were born with missing limbs, deformed organs, and disabilities so severe that many did not survive infancy. The company knew there were problems. Internal documents prove it. They had warnings, reports of side effects, nerve damage, but they dismissed them, suppressed them, and kept selling because the drug was profitable. The 1950s, post-war Europe, medicine is advancing rapidly. New drugs, new treatments. Pharmaceutical companies are booming, and one drug in particular becomes a sensation: thalidomide. Introduced in 1957 by a German pharmaceutical company called Chemie Grünenthal. It is marketed as a sedative, safe, non-addictive, no side effects, a miracle drug for anxiety and insomnia. And here is the key selling point: it is so safe that pregnant women can take it. Doctors prescribe it for morning sickness, for insomnia during pregnancy. The advertisements are explicit, can be given with complete safety to pregnant women and nursing mothers. Grünenthal promotes it aggressively. The drug is sold in 46 countries under different names: Contergan in Germany, Distaval in the UK, Kevadon in Canada. It is everywhere, but nobody tested it on pregnant women before releasing it to the market. Nobody checked what it would do to a developing fetus. And within months, something strange starts happening. In Germany, doctors begin noticing an unusual pattern. Babies are being born with severe birth defects, limb malformations, arms and legs that are shortened or missing entirely, hands growing directly from shoulders, feet attached to hips. The condition is called Phocomelia. It is extremely rare. Historically, it occurs in maybe 1 in a million births, but suddenly it is appearing in dozens of cases, then hundreds. At first, no one knows why. Doctors search for explanations. Is it a virus, radiation, genetic mutation, environmental contamination? But the cases keep increasing, and they all have something in common. The mothers took thalidomide during pregnancy. In 1960, a German pediatrician named Dr. Widukind Lenz starts connecting the dots. He interviews mothers of affected babies. Almost all of them took thalidomide during the first trimester, the critical period when limbs and organs develop. He reports his findings to Grünenthal. He warns them. The drug is causing birth defects. It needs to be pulled from the market immediately. Grünenthal dismisses him. They say the evidence is not conclusive. They say other factors could be responsible. They keep selling. In Australia, Dr. William McBride makes the same connection. He publishes a letter in The Lancet, one of the world's most prestigious medical journals, warning that thalidomide is linked to birth defects. The evidence is mounting, undeniable. But Grünenthal resists, because thalidomide is making them a fortune. Pulling the drug would mean lawsuits, lost revenue, damaged reputation. So they delay, they deny, they keep the drug on shelves, and every day they wait, more women take thalidomide. More babies are born with catastrophic disabilities. By the time the drug is finally withdrawn in November 1961, the damage is done. Over 10,000 children have been born with thalidomide-related disabilities. Thousands more died in the womb or shortly after birth. Welcome to If History Repeats, History. Today, we go back to the thalidomide scandal of the late 1950s and early 1960s, to the pharmaceutical company that prioritized profit over safety, the warnings that were ignored, and the families whose lives were destroyed. And here is the promise I will keep by the end of this video. I will tell you about the one person who stopped thalidomide from devastating an entire country. The scientist who said no when everyone else said yes, and why her story matters more than ever. If you are watching this, please subscribe. Every episode of If History Repeats explores moments when warnings were ignored and the disasters that followed. So let's talk about what thalidomide actually does to a developing fetus. Pregnancy has critical windows, periods when specific organs and limbs are forming. The first trimester, especially days 20 to 36, is when arms, legs, ears, and internal organs develop. Thalidomide crosses the placental barrier. It enters the fetal bloodstream, and it interferes with the formation of new blood vessels. Without proper blood flow, developing limbs do not grow correctly. The timing determines the severity. If a woman takes thalidomide on day 20 or 21 of pregnancy, the baby may be born without ears. Day 22 to 27, arms are affected. Day 24 to 27, legs. Day 28 to 29, arms and legs. The drug is devastatingly precise in its damage. Babies are born with Phocomelia, arms that end at the elbow, legs that end at the knee, or no limbs at all, just a torso and a head. Some have hands growing directly from their shoulders, feet attached to their hips. Others have internal organ malformations, heart defects, kidney problems, gastrointestinal abnormalities. Many do not survive. Those who do face a lifetime of challenges: surgeries, prosthetics, physical therapy, adaptive equipment, and the emotional toll. Growing up in a body that society is not designed for. But here is what makes the tragedy even worse. Grunenthal knew the drug had problems. Internal documents, revealed decades later in lawsuits, show that the company received reports of side effects as early as 1959. Patients were experiencing peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage, tingling, numbness in hands and feet. These were warnings, red flags, signs that the drug was affecting the nervous system. But Grunenthal dismissed the reports, called them minor side effects, continued marketing thalidomide as completely safe. And when doctors like Widukind Lentz and William McBride raised alarms about birth defects, the company resisted. They demanded more proof. They questioned the science. They delayed withdrawing the drug. Why? Because thalidomide was profitable, extremely profitable. It was sold in 46 countries, prescribed to millions of people. Pulling it would mean financial disaster for the company, so they gambled. They gambled that the evidence would remain inconclusive, that the public would not connect the dots, that they could keep selling long enough to maximize profits before being forced to act. And every day they gambled, more babies were born disabled. By late 1961, the evidence was overwhelming, undeniable. Countries started banning thalidomide: Germany, the UK, Australia, Canada. Grunenthal finally withdrew it in November 1961. But the damage was catastrophic. Estimates vary, but at least 10,000 children were born with thalidomide-related disabilities. Some estimates go as high as 20,000. Thousands more died before birth or shortly after. Germany had the most cases, over 5,000. The UK had around 2,000. Japan, Canada, Australia, dozens of countries affected. Families were devastated. Parents who had been told the drug was safe, who trusted their doctors, who believed the pharmaceutical company. Now they were raising children with severe disabilities. Children who would need lifelong care, surgeries, assistive devices, constant medical attention. And many families received little to no support. Grunenthal faced lawsuits, thousands of them. The legal battles dragged on for years. Settlements were inadequate. Many victims received only a fraction of what they needed for a lifetime of care. The company issued an apology in 2012, 50 years later, half a century after the tragedy. By then, many of the victims had already died. But here is what nobody talks about enough. The United States was largely spared, only about 17 cases in the US, most from women who obtained the drug in other countries or participated in clinical trials. Why? Because one woman at the FDA said, "No, doctor, Francis Oldham Kelsey. In 1960, a pharmaceutical company applied to sell thalidomide in the United States. The application landed on Dr. Kelsey's desk. She was a new FDA reviewer. This was one of her first assignments. The company pressured her to approve it quickly. Thalidomide was already a bestseller in Europe. Safe, effective, no problems. But Dr. Kelsey was not convinced. She read the application carefully. The safety data was inadequate. The studies were poorly designed. There was no testing on pregnant women. She asked for more information. The company pushed back. They lobbied. They complained to her superiors. They accused her of being unreasonable. But Dr. Kelsey refused to approve the drug. She kept asking questions, demanding better data. And then the reports from Europe started coming in. Birth defects, thousands of cases. Dr. Kelsey had been right. Her refusal to approve thalidomide saved thousands of American children from being born with disabilities. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy awarded her the President's Award for Distinguished Federal Civilian Service. She became a hero, a symbol of scientific integrity, of standing firm against corporate pressure. But what her story really shows is how fragile drug safety is. One person, one FDA reviewer, standing between a pharmaceutical company and a national tragedy. If Dr. Kelsey had approved thalidomide, like almost everyone expected her to, the United States would have suffered the same devastation as Europe. Thousands of American children would have been born disabled because one company prioritized profit over safety. So here is the question. Has the pharmaceutical industry learned the lesson of thalidomide? Are drug companies more careful now, more transparent, more willing to prioritize safety over profit? The answer is complicated. After thalidomide, regulations improved. In 1962, the United States passed the Kefauver-Harris Amendment. It required pharmaceutical companies to prove drugs were both safe and effective before approval. It mandated testing on pregnant women for drugs intended for that population. Other countries enacted similar reforms. Drug approval processes became more rigorous. Clinical trials expanded, but the fundamental incentive structure did not change. Pharmaceutical companies are still corporations. They answer to shareholders. They prioritize profit. And when safety conflicts with revenue, the pressure to cut corners remains. We have seen it repeatedly. Vioxx X, a painkiller that increased the risk of heart attacks and strokes. The company knew. Internal documents proved it. They suppressed the data, kept selling. An estimated 60,000 people died before the drug was pulled in 2004. OxyContin, marketed as non-addictive, it was highly addictive. The opioid crisis has killed hundreds of thousands. The Sackler family, owners of Purdue Pharma, made billions. The pattern repeats. A drug is rushed to market. Safety concerns are dismissed. Profits are prioritized. People are harmed. Lawsuits follow. Settlements are paid. But no executives go to jail. The cost of doing business. And here is what makes it unbearable. The victims of thalidomide are still alive. Many of them in their 60s and 70s now, living with the consequences of a decision made before they were born. Some have become advocates, fighting for recognition, for better support, for accountability. But the companies that caused their suffering, most are still operating, still profitable. Grunenthal is still in business. They issued an apology. They established a foundation, but they never admitted legal responsibility. The victims received compensation, but many say it was never enough. And the warning remains. Pharmaceutical companies will prioritize profit over safety unless forced to do otherwise. Regulations help. Oversight helps. But the pressure to cut corners is always there. If you made it this far, thank you. Thalidomide was marketed as a safe sedative in the late 1950s. Pharmaceutical company Kemi Grunenthal claimed it was completely harmless for pregnant women. But nobody tested it on pregnant women before release. Within months, babies started being born with severe birth defects, missing limbs, deformed organs. Over 10,000 children were affected. Thousands more died. The company knew there were problems. They had warnings, reports of side effects, but they dismissed them, suppressed them, kept selling, because the drug was profitable. Dr. Frances Oldham Kelsey, an FDA reviewer, refused to approve thalidomide for the US market. Her refusal saved thousands of American children. And here is the promise fulfilled. Dr. Kelsey's story matters because it shows how fragile drug safety is. One person standing between corporate pressure and public health. One decision saving thousands of lives. But we cannot rely on individual heroes. We need systems, accountability, consequences for negligence, because the pattern continues. Share this with someone who refuses to look away. Next episode, 66 million years ago, an asteroid struck Earth. The impact was catastrophic. A rock 6 miles wide, traveling at 45,000 miles per hour. It hit what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The explosion was equivalent to 10 billion Hiroshima bombs. The blast vaporized everything within hundreds of miles. A shockwave circled the globe. Tsunamis over 300 feet high swept across coastlines. Wildfires ignited across continents. And then the sky went dark. Dust and debris shot into the atmosphere, blocked out the sun. Temperatures plummeted. Photosynthesis stopped. Plants died. Herbivores starved. Carnivores followed. 75% of all species on Earth went extinct, including the dinosaurs. The asteroid did not just kill the dinosaurs, it reset life on Earth. What if that asteroid hit today, not 66 million years ago? Today, what if a 6-mile-wide rock struck a major population center? New York, Tokyo, London, Madrid, the city would be vaporized instantly. Everyone within 100 miles dead in seconds. The shockwave would flatten buildings 500 miles away. The heat would ignite fires across continents, and then the dust cloud. The sky would go dark, global temperatures would drop, crops would fail, billions would starve, civilization would not survive. NASA monitors near-Earth asteroids, thousands of them. Most are small, harmless, but some are large enough to cause extinction-level events. And here is the terrifying part. We would not see it coming until it was too late. An asteroid will hit Earth again, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not for another million years, but one day a rock will fall from the sky. And when it does, humanity will discover that all our technology, all our achievements, all our civilizations are fragile, because some disasters do not destroy cities, they reset the planet. I am if history repeats, and history always has something to say.